spend 30 odd minutes in setting this up. Let me get started. So the topic what I have been given is energy efficient lighting using controls and automation. Now, I have been given understanding that this particular event which is happening, which is related to the energy efficiency and audit, etc. Right. So I guess we all are aware about the awareness and the requirement or the need and the focus which is now on all the possible potential or sources from where we can save the precious energy. As we all are aware that this is not only helping us to save money, but more importantly, it is also helping us to contribute to sustainability. Right. So in my personal opinion, energy efficiency should not only be looked from the money saving point of view, because it definitely has a larger cause. So keeping that in mind, what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus more on the lighting aspect of it, that what are different potentials we have for saving electrical energy. And while we are doing that, are there any other benefits which we can expect? So that's where I'm going to spend most of the time. I have some slides to refer to, and while we are discussing on this topic, feel free to stop me and ask for any question. Sir, can you go to the next slide? So while we are discussing about energy efficient lighting, let me first distinguish very clearly, that is between lighting and energy efficient lighting. Since we are using this tag called energy efficient lighting, we all understand, right? The lighting which we are referring is which will require a minimal possible energy. The reason I wanted to distinguish between lighting and energy efficient lighting is, if you go back a decade before, when there was no LEDs, there was hardly any focus being given to lighting, or there was hardly any attention given to lighting to view or to look at it as a potential energy saving utility. But as technology has evolved, LED lights have come in. There are definitely different flexibility which is available at our disposal. Everybody has started giving a lot of attention that how we can save energy also from lighting. And there is no rocket science. We all know that we all can save energy by just by replacing replacing normal traditional light sources with the LED light sources. And basically, just because your LED itself required or consume very lesser power, and they have a bigger luminosity. So that's a dual advantage. That means at a lower wattage of energy or power, we can generate higher lumen. And that's where I'm referring to the light source technology called LED. And by the advent of this light source, definitely we have a huge potential to save energy using lighting. Sir, can you go to next slide? But today I am going to focus on altogether a different topic. We all know that simply by replacing LEDs, we can save energy. No doubt, and nobody is doubting that, nobody is questioning that, nobody is challenging that. The point I'm trying to raise today is, there are technologies available, there are concepts and solutions available which can help us go beyond the traditional savings because of LEDs. And what I mean is, and this is a very generic situation which you will find if you have visited any factory, or for that matter even large buildings or hospitals. You will find that 80% of luminaires are switched on even though there is a good amount of light available in that space. I hope you can relate this, and I hope you have seen such kind of a scenario. So the basic point I'm trying to put forward is that, or the basic question I'm raising here is that, is there a way we can use the available natural light within the premises and then reduce the dependence on artificial lighting. And that is the potential, that is the possibility I'm going to discuss more in details, along with different technologies which can be used to make this possible. And obviously, while we are doing it, there are also another problems which generally exist. So many times in all this large infrastructure, it is found that since the lighting systems are manual in nature, most of the times, even though there is a light available in daytime, nobody really goes and nobody really bothers to go and switch off that light, because they know that after 1 hour or 2 hours they will have to again switch it on. So the human negligence is also causing a lot of electrical energy wastage. So what we thought, that how about using technology to even ensure that there is no human dependence, and all these large facilities, factories, warehouses can be effectively managed, thus giving us a energy saving and ultimately, of course, money saving. Right. So these are two distinct angles which we are trying to portray as how can we leverage the available natural daylight, and more importantly, how technology can help us to reduce the operation and maintenance headache. Sir, please, next slide. And this is what I talked about. The obvious approach taken today is to save electrical energy in a lighting context is replacing the traditional lights with LEDs. And obviously, as I said earlier as well, this has given us lots of benefit, but more importantly, the point is, can we look beyond? Next slide, please. And this is where I'm going to introduce lighting controls. So please, next slide. Thank you. Yeah, this is where I'm going to talk about lighting controls. Now, we all are aware about basic controls, and we use it daily, whether it is at our house or maybe it's college or maybe office, right? We have this tick-tock switch. What that switch is, it's just a mechanism to switch off or switch on the light whenever we need, right? So that is what we refer as a manual control. Now, as technologies are evolving, I'm sure you also would have heard about the concept of using sensors to control the light. Right, so occupant can automatically switch on the light, or maybe if there is no occupancy, you light. Those options what we are aware about. Having said that, there are also many other advanced forms, and we can go beyond this manual controls and sensor based controls. So let me quickly walk you through what are different applications which one can visualize or one can envisage of using for energy efficient lighting. So next slide, please. Now, before I talk about this, let me define it very clearly. When I'm saying energy efficient lighting, I'm referring to specific segments. So I'm referring to segments or buildings where lighting load is extremely high. So for example, factories, warehouses, or multi-story buildings, large offices, right, where we have a huge lighting load. And we are aware, we are aware about automation, right? But most of the times this automation is referred only in a context of home automation. But the purpose in home automation is different. It's not to save energy, but it is to bring the comfort and convenience. What we are trying to highlight, that the similar technologies can also be used in larger infrastructure, which can help us to save real energy. And what you see on the slide are some of the applications which are currently used by different use cases. So for example, there are connected lightings. So entire lighting or your most of the utility services in the building, what we call as the building management systems, are connected with each other and they're automated. Now automated is not only to reduce the human intervention, but more importantly to increase the increase the operational efficiency. I'll not get into that topic because it itself is a huge topic. I'll spend most of the time on the second application called dynamic daylight harvesting and lighting management, and how this concept or this solution is helping a lot of industries or buildings to save electrical energy required for lighting applications. So next slide, please. Right now, before I delve into the more details, these are some of the expectations. Right, everybody today want energy efficiency, and that's where we are saying how we can leverage the available natural daylight so that we can reduce the dependence on artificial lighting. And I'm going to explain this concept in much more detail as we go. But while we are doing it, there is one more clear ask by most of these customers or the beneficiaries, that while you are looking at saving the energy, also look at how it can be easy for us to operate and maintain those systems. Otherwise, we have complex systems available to save energy, but if those are very difficult to maintain and operate, slowly, silently, the interest in using such systems fades away, right? So the systems or solution has to be such that they're easy, they are not complex, and most importantly, they're cost effective. And there is one more angle called health and well-being. Slowly, silently, everybody has started looking lighting as a way to introduce the health and well-being. Let me bring a recent example of pandemic. Right? During the pandemic, you might have seen or heard this light source called UV, because UV light sources are good disinfectant. Now, thanks to pandemic, because that helped lighting industry to use this as an application. But the point I'm trying to raise here is lighting is not only for illumination. There are also additional benefits available from the health and well-being. So if we club all this together, one can definitely look at lighting in a different context. And let me just highlight and bring your attention to one more concept here. Not concept actually, approach. Even today, we have a very wrong habit of selecting light. Remember last time when you visited a local shop and asked for the light fixture, and I can blindly tell you that out of 100, almost 99 people would have asked for मुझे जरा वो 10 watt का light दे दो, 40 watt का light दे दो, isn't it? The question, friends, I would like to raise: does it really make sense to measure light in wattages? Is that really a purpose? Why do we use light? And answer is simple, right? We want light or light source to illuminate the space. Then isn't it we should be referring that I want light source which can give me 1000 lux, 500 lux, 300 lux or lumen? But unfortunately, nobody uses this language, and we all are fixed into that wattages kind of a jargon. But slowly, silently, this picture is changing as everybody has started understanding the need of lighting design. There used to be any hardly concept called lighting design. Even a simple classroom or an office or a home, right? We used to have 2 bulbs, 3 bulbs, 1 tube, that's it. But there was not a thought given why should we need that light at that space. Have you heard about this called correlated color temperature? It is important for us to understand what kind of a CCT light sources we are using. Anyways, but I don't want to dwell into that topic. I'm just trying to raise those questions because it is extremely important for all of us to understand lighting design is definitely important. But in today's context, lighting design is only done to arrive on the answer that how much lighting load in terms of wattages we would require. I'm not saying that is wrong, but that is not complete. But again, as I said, like that's not the topic for today. Let me come back to the topic, which is energy efficient lighting. So next slide, please. Any questions so far before I explain the next concept? Okay, I believe there are no questions. Sir, you need to click couple of times. There is a little animation here. Okay, maybe one. Oh, go back. Okay, that's it. Okay, let me explain how can we leverage natural light. And this little animation can help you understand. What does dynamic daylight harvesting means? Most of the buildings today either have glass facades or large windows, or industrial factories have those north light structure with a transparent sheets. Those are giving a lot of opportunity for natural light to be available in the inside the premises. But because of the current lighting design, because of the current lighting management system, which is manual and which is not dimmable, we are not able to really leverage the available light. So what this concept means, imagine you have a sensor, which is a light measuring sensor or lux measuring sensor. Lux is a unit in which you measure light, which is continuously monitoring this particular space, and then giving a feedback to the controller saying that we have 200 lux available here. Okay, now for example, here we have 200 lux because it's near to the window, and on the other side of the window we have 100 lux because the natural light is not available there, but we want 300 lux. So what will happen, the light fixtures near the window will only generate 100 lux because there is 200 lux already available. But on the opposite side, the light fixtures will generate 200 lux because only 100 lux is available. Point I'm trying to tell you is that the lux sensor is giving input to the controller, and the controller will give command to the respective light fixtures that you need to generate only the requisite or the delta lux. Now mathematically, let's say if this is a 100-watt fixture, and in order to generate 100 lux, this light has to switch on at its 50% of intensity. That means we are saving 50 watts per light fixture. Are you all with me? So next slide, please. This is a simple representation of it. And this is how it is very well possible use this such kind of a technologies. And I'm going to give you some references, some kind of actual calculations, what kind of a savings we can do and we can have using this technology. Any question? I would like to take a pause because this is very important from this concept of energy efficient lighting using controls and automation. Let me know if you have any questions, sir. Okay, good. I think I'm super efficient as there are no questions. Thanks for that. Okay, let me go ahead. So next slide, please. Right. So what I'm going to now walk you through how this concept is practically possible. right? Concepts are good in theories, those are good in books, but is it really possible to leverage the natural light and reduce the dependence on artificial lighting? Let's look how that is possible. So what you currently see on the slide is a complete solution which are generally available such kind of application. Now imagine a large factory, okay? Though you see a picture of a floor layout of office, this can also be applicable for a factories. Now the solution what I'm trying to introduce is not just a intensity dimming up and dimming down, because the same technology can give you some additional benefits. So one benefit is that you can have an entire monitoring of each and every light fixture in the factory sitting at one location. And how it helps? Because now since I am aware and I'm monitoring, my operational efforts are very less. Let's say in some areas there is no automation, there are no sensors, because there is no possibility of leveraging natural light. In those cases, those lights can be manually switched off sitting at one place. I don't have to go to the DB or a switch box on that floor to switch it on or switch it off. Sitting at one control command station, I can switch on or switch off. This is how actually we can help by simply monitoring the lighting status. Another is lighting automation. So daylight harvesting is one of the strategy for your automation. Second is scheduling. Okay, so scheduling with, let's say, lunch hours. Now we know that there are no work happening in lunch hours. We can simply use the scheduling. So 1 o'clock light goes off, 2 o'clock light comes in, right? So all these are automated schedules, so that we don't really waste the energy. Third and very interesting concept called automated fault detection, right? This has not directly do with the lighting energy or saving energy, but this helps a lot of time for operations team. And what this means is that if the light fixtures on a floor of a factory goes faulty, in current scenario, somebody has to raise a ticket, or somebody has to call up the maintenance team and complain that this particular light fixture is faulty. Then the maintenance team visits, they climb up, because generally those lights are fitted at around 8 meter 9 meter of height, so they have to bring the lift or something of that sort to climb up and then look at what the problem is. Once they diagnose the problem, they come down, get the required component, climb up again, and then fix it. This is the manual traditional process. Today's technology has reached to the level wherein this entire process can be automated. And what I mean is that the moment the light is faulty, light itself can send a communication to the concerned stakeholder that I am faulty. I am in bay number 7, light number 5, and hey, I am faulty because my ballast is faulty. This ballast was this ballast is of make XYZ, and this was fitted on 1st January 2017. Look at the kind of information is available with the maintenance team even before visiting the site. And believe me, I'm not at all exaggerating. This is the system available. We ourselves have deployed at many many locations, even in India. And of course, the last one, but the most important, and Peter Drucker has said, right? If you cannot measure, you cannot manage. So what today's technologies are giving you possibility to measure. And once you measure, you know how to manage. And that's where the data and analytics comes into the picture. So such kind of systems are giving you the analytics or data, like how much energy has been consumed by my lighting system, how much energy we are able to save because of the daylight harvesting. So all this is not just in verbal communication, those are also documented in terms of reports. So next slide, please. So this is just a description of what I just explained, right? So dashboard, you have a dashboard. It's all a web-based application which anybody can access from your computer. And then you can visualize the entire of floors, lighting layouts, introduce the concept like daylight harvesting, schedule-based controls, monitor the faults in real time. And those faults can also be sent or email or SMS. And I already talked about data and analytics. So next slide, please. Right? If we have such kind of a systems in place, we certainly can save additional 60 to 70% of energy. Reason I'm saying additional, you know, let's say my earlier lighting load was 250 watts, but by introducing LED, we have brought it to 220 watt. My point is that on top of 120 watt, there is an additional potential of 60 to 70% of savings. And I'm going to talk about certain numbers, right? But that's the potential. Next, very important thing, by modulating the intensity, there is a myth that we are actually harming the life of the light fixtures. Answer is wrong, it's a myth. In fact, we are increasing the life of lighting fixture when it is a LEDs. So today you might have heard about this term that LED runs for 50,000 burning hours. Now this 50,000 burning hours is at its 100% capacity. But imagine that throughout its life, we are only using the 50% intensity. That means we are only using the 50% capacity. And that means that we are actually increasing the life by another 50%. Right? So this is not only helping you to save energy, but it is also helping you to increase the life of your lighting systems or light fixtures. I'll not get into more details about how it can reduce the shutdown time and all. It's very simple because we are reducing the turnaround time for changing the light fixtures using the automated lighting, automated fault detection and diagnosis. No doubt comfort and convenience, because nobody has to run after those light switches, MCBs, switch it off and switch it on. Nobody has pain if you forget to switch off the light, because system is taking care of it. And more importantly, you have all the data points available to you to take right decisions at right time. And that's where savings can come in. So next slide, please. Now this is interesting slide, which I'm sure you all would be very interested, because this is going to prove what I was just talking about. And these are actual numbers from one of the project, wherein in earlier column what you see was the lighting load and the energy load for metal halides. This particular company decides to replace metal halides with simple LEDs, that is without control. Their lighting load was certainly reduced from 831.60 kilowatt hours per day to 332.64. But after introducing daylight harvesting, a same lighting load was further reduced by another 50% or 40%. And let me tell you how. If you look at it, this is the actual consumption of per light fixture, 110 watt, it is 55 watt. Now this factory has a good daylight structure or a north light structure. And because of that, morning 6 to evening 6, at least in summers and winters, there used to be an ample amount of light available. May not be available everywhere, but in some pockets. But because of the daylight harvesting, we were able to capture those pockets where there was sufficient light and automatically tune the intensities. So it was observed that morning 6 to evening 6, all those light fixtures was burning at average 55 watts. And that's where the savings yields are. The entire cost which they incurred on lighting controls, they could cover much lesser than 2 years. Any questions on this? I know there might be some auditors here, and I would like to take up any questions if at all. Okay, I believe there are no questions. Next slide, please. These are some of the actual application snapshot of the application. So for example, as I said, like the system can tell you how much energy you have saved yesterday because of the daylight harvesting, the total average light usage on the floor, actual light available on the floor, number of light sensors, etc. So next slide, please. Right, this is the way you can actually control even the respective bays. And if you look at it, across different bays, there is a different lux levels available and light levels as well. This the last one, what red you see are the faults coming out of the automated fault detection. Next slide, sir. I purposely have chosen this slide just to give you idea. If it is an office floor, even those floor plans can be visualized easily. Right, so this concept, this technology is very well available at our disposal. It's a matter of the fact that we create an awareness about it. In my opinion, this is not used just because most of the consultants, architects are either not aware about it, or if they're aware, probably they have very bad experiences of previous technologies, and hence they would not like to use automation. But believe me, there are much more advanced technologies available. Those are very, very flexible and very simple to adopt. And those are making it possible to even bring such kind of a concept into reality. So next slide. Yeah, this is another slide where all the reporting, wherein you can measure the lux levels, light usage, energy consumptions, etc. So all this thing is very well possible. So there is no subjectivity; it's all objective as we progress and use the technologies for such kind of applications. So next slide. Yeah, I think I am at the last slide, and we still have 15 to 20 minutes for a question and answer if we'd like to take up.
Is there any question from participants? They can put in chat box or they can directly ask by unmuting themselves.
Hello, sir. Sudhir Patil, sir. Session was very good, very informative, and it motivates to go to energy conservation. As we are doing energy audit for the number of the commercial buildings, where we have suggested energy monitoring system for them. Actually, we did actually lux level analysis inside the room, every room laboratories. Accordingly, we instructed them to replace or replace energy efficient some pictures also. Even we asked them to reduce the number of the pictures. In most of the government colleges, we found more number of pictures are installed, and that too old one, energy intensive appliances are there. So
Correct.
there we need that such your support for further our energy audit applications, and we'll recommend you. But our major concerns, what happens, because already that lighting system, that is single line diagram, and here that already it becomes very complicated. How to separate it is a big issue for us, what we observed. Even for our college also we can do it. But here in college, while doing that electrifications, that was a continuous process. There was no any master plan prepared for all these were wiring cables also. So there we come across how to do all these things, how to control separately. Just please guide on this. Similar happens in colleges also. And we'll give you some references where we did audit, and we can share our analysis, how we did analysis. We are following Bureau of Energy Efficiency guidelines, where we calculate that room index. Then on that basis, at how many point we need to check lux level, and that we compare with the standards which give through the even national building codes and other things. With that, we did audit for a number of the institutes also. So please guide in this context.
In fact, it's a very relevant question, and more than a question, a challenge which exists on the ground today. So, sir, in fact, it's not only colleges, which is the case almost in every building or the old building. And that was the point I was mentioning in my session, that there was not a thorough thought given in design, right? And that's the challenge we all need to deal. Now, there is no direct straight answer to this, like by this way we can do it or that way we can do it. Probably we'll have to start small, but start taking steps towards it. Unfortunately, I can't give you black and white answer on this, because there is absolutely no design thought given while designing at least lighting and related cabling. But as I said, like, at least we need to start taking steps. If we cannot do anything on the older one, right?
Correct.
At least let's consider when we are trying to replace them.
Yeah. Now, even most of the places, what happens, as per our recommendation, they have replaced also. But what you says in most of your during presentations, nowhere that wastage control was there. Nowhere that fans as well as tube lights are being opted when they are not here. Any occupancy is not there. So what we'll do in this context, sir, we'll give you one department. That Jamadar sir will share that all the line diagram of that department, and if we'll try for that particular department how to do these monitorings and other things, and that will represent to management. Further, it can be extended to our college as well as we can recommend to other colleges also, industry also. Somewhere we'll start. What you say is correct, very correct. We'll start somewhere. That you can, how you will support that? That is the question now.
Yeah, we can figure that out. And now, since you are talking about use case, in my opinion,
any one department will take one department, and there will calculate load, all the will give you inventory of all the appliances there, or the lighting system, all this, and there will monitor. Even in addition, we'll put that fan also there in that system. Maximum in commercial or the colleges, what happens, maximum one is tube light, other is a fan, and third, that all that equipment, that instruments are there, or some test rigs are there, they are very frequently used. So major electricity consuming is the fan as well as tube light. So we'll focus initially either on the only tube light, or we'll club the fan also there. It can be added there itself, and by that we'll monitor everything. We'll go in that context also. We'll share all the details.
We'll discuss that indeed.
Yeah, that would better. We'll discuss personally also through department. We'll call you on digital platform some other day, and there we'll share our what we are doing and our all this in inventory at our particular department, and there you can suggest how we'll proceed. That would better, sir. Somewhere we'll start. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. It was really very nice, and it is expected, and which will contribute towards the government mission, that is Mission Energy Conservation. Great work you are doing, sir. Great.
Thank you, sir.
Any question from participant?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Please ask.
Sir, Suraj Gaikwad here. My question is there any latest technology to measure lumen?
Latest technology to measure, there are sensors available which can help you measure the lumen and the lux.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Any question?
I think no any questions. If anybody has any doubt, they can put on chat box or WhatsApp group. We'll forward to Sudhir Patil. Okay. Khade sir,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
give announcement for tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow session will start at dot at and attendance is very important. Accordingly,
Yes,
just to give instruction and we'll conclude. And you can
Yes,
conclude.